Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to Citadel, a demo about a kind of story-driven, choose-your-own-adventure kind of style game. I don't think something we've played before on the channel, really, from my memory. I can't remember playing a story game. Probably have, and I've just forgotten. But let's give it a go. Oh. It's very pixely. Isn't a bad thing, of course. Light. Do I have to click? Brilliant white light scattered across the surface of the primordial solution, suspending my body. Adrift in watery solitude, the gentle warmth of the mixture embraces me like a nurturing mother. The liquid fills my lungs, heavy and thick. With every breath, the rhythmic rise and fall of my chest. As I part my lips, bubbles gently break away, rising up towards the surface above. We're drowning, I guess. The solution nourishes my body. Okay, so maybe it's not a bad thing. My mouth tingles with each saline sip. Despite its liquid state, it seems to be providing my body ample oxygen. Okay. With a wave of blissful relief, I let go of all tension as I float in this Cambrian sea. ... Until a moment ago, I knew nothing of this experience they call consciousness. There's an itching from some recessed synapse fumbling around for a notion of the previous, but it's clearly absent. And yet I feel none of the fear I know this experience should bring me. I could stay here forever, drifting in and out of consciousness. But something is calling me towards that shimmering light. I can't explain it. It's irrational, to say the least. Why move? Why move when I can simply drift about aimlessly in this intoxicating, lazy oasis? ... Enough of this. I need to see what's out there. Flailing my limbs about with newfound vigor, I make a belligerent attempt to get my bearing. Little by little, my body calibrates to the sensation of swimming. When I finally reoriented my body towards the surface, I raise my hand out in a childish display of wonder. The rise to the surface is more strenuous than I thought it would be. The liquid filling my lungs is affecting my ability to maintain upward momentum. It's almost like I'm pulling against a leash held taut by some coddling force below. Sorry, Mama Bird, but it's time for baby to leave the nest. I eventually break free from my watery chains and approach the fabled light. As I reach my hand out, I feel a tug of resistance before breaching the surface. I seem to have punctured some sort of membrane. You gotta break a few eggs. My head emerges. Suddenly my body is lurched forward by an unseen will. I'm spluttering out the liquid from my mouth with violent force. The pain is excruciating. My lungs burn red. Each time I cough out water, air fills the remaining space, scraping its invisible blade against my delicate alveoli? Alveoli. I don't actually know that word. Alright, let's hope we don't see it again. For my sakes. This process of purging and regurgitating goes on for what seems like hours, but it can't have been more than a minute. My heart rate slowly calms to a manageable level. The pounding in my ears falls as I regain my bearings. I take care to remain treading water as I rub my eyes. I am floating in a small body of water, not unlike a hot spring. It's surrounded by a rocky outcrop, with an eroded path extending at the shore. Above, the stars twinkle in the jet-black sky. This outside world is far more still than I expected it to be. Still skitterish from the coughing fit, I make my way over to the shore. Again, the feeling of chained movement returns. Is there some sort of weight dragging me down? Find a place shallow enough that I can stand and look down at my torso. Oh, I find my torso. What is that? Is this my torso? An obscene mash of flesh lies atop one of the rocks. Oh, okay. It's not my torso. Slippery, veiny, and bulbous. It's repulsive. The mere sight of it is an assault to my eyes. The abomination is soaked with bright red blood, the excess spilling over to stain the pure spring. Okay. The blob is Gert. Oh, that was his name. Hello, Gert. The blob is girt by a translucent fatty rim, which has oxidized to a metallic shade of silver. In the center, the tissue bears an appetizing shade of puce. Puce. Another word I've never heard of. Shade of puce. I imagine this is what you'd see if you pulled back someone's skin. No. It must be an organ of some kind. There's a reason those things are hidden inside us. Even Mother Nature is ashamed of her creation. There's a small cord adjoining to the side of the organ. The organ, it leads underwater, spiraling underneath. I follow its trail with my eyes. As I do, my neck slowly cranes downwards, observing the cord as it gets closer and closer to me. And then to my tummy. It's attached to my body. The cord is attached to my body and directly joined to the grotesque mass. The mere thought is nauseating. I need to get this out now, even though it's probably keeping me alive. Probably not smart. I don't care if it's the only thing keeping me alive. Okay. I can't trust it. Rip. Rip. I'm going to rip it out. I grasp the stump of the cord connected below my stomach. Breathe in. Breathe out. It's like an umbilical cord, I guess. Oh, fucking hell. I yank at the cord as hard as I possibly can, and it shreds without any resistance. I hold my breath, waiting for any sign of pain, but it never comes. Heaving a sigh of relief, I drop the now limp cord with a gentle splash. That was much easier than I thought. Turning around, I start to trek up the eroded path. Falling into the rhythmic pattern of one foot in front of the other, my mind finally quiets down as I drift into a world of introspection. Maybe that's how you pronounce that word? Upon reflection, it is evident that my current situation is abnormal, to say the least. My memory does not extend beyond floating in that spring. Try as I might, I cannot see anything before that. So either I never had a memory and just gained it, or I've had memory at some point but lost it. In the case of the former, I should be a child. After all, memory develops fairly early on. I suppose this is possible, but I am almost certain that no human child has developed limbs of my length. Such a thing would be an abomination, deserving a complete annihilation. Well, I don't know that. You know, we're all born a little different, aren't we? Some of us are born like Mr. Tickle, I guess. Maybe you are. Besides, children are stupid and I am not. Therefore I am not a child, so perhaps I did have memory at some point, and simply lost it. This seems to make more sense. The fact that I can use language and I am privy to a general knowledge of the world suggests I've already had the ability to remember. But then, when did I lose it? And why? Was it the weird tendril suckered to my stomach? Possibly. I wonder just how long I was floating in that spring. Without memory, there is really no way to know. The only thing I can say for certain is that something is wrong. I can only hope that the answers await me on the journey ahead. Suddenly a wave of icy chills flood over me. Goosebumps prickle my skin, and the hair on my body snaps to attention. Craning my arms and legs together, I start to shiver uncontrollably. I didn't realize until now just how freezing the air is. The solution I was floating in must have shielded me from the cold. Defenseless in my naked state, the wind assaults me with gusts of frigid air. Perhaps if I keep moving, I can warm myself up. I press ahead with this thought in mind. Probably want to find a cave or something that might help you. The night is eerily still. My only companions, the wind and the stars. It's peaceful. But I am left longing for the sound of another living creature. It's nice to know you're not alone, even if it's just the croak of a frog or the chirp of crickets. More than anything, I would want someone to explain what's going on. Who am I? Why am I here? Where is everyone? Oh, and some clothes would be nice too. Though racing in my mind, I trek onwards, or thoughts rather. The jagged ground bites at my bare feet. The pain is bearable, but insistent. I just need to make it softer ground. Just as the cuts start to warrant a serious break, I notice the horizon levelling off at what looks like a vantage point. Perfect. I grit my teeth and endure the pain until I reach it. Wrap a couple of leaves around your toes, around your feet, maybe? Find one. A dazzling stream of light hits me. Instinctively, I hold my hand up to block it and wait for my eyes to adjust to the brightness. When I've grown accustomed to the light, my jaw drops at the sight before me. Rocks, rivers, tracks, hills, lights, buildings, and the blazing light of the moon cut through the diamond window over here. The view is astounding. I sit for a moment basking in the grandeur of the scene. The stars twinkling above, dazzling in the otherwise benighted plain? Maybe that's the word. I can narrowly make out a bridge spanning across the river. A makeshift path extends from either end. This would make an adequate starting point for a search. My eyes dart between the structures in the distance. trying to figure out what I can make of them. That looks like a temple, maybe. Such things should have taken a number of people to build, and yet I see nothing resembling typical housing. Perhaps they simply occupied one of those buildings, or travelled here from afar. Finally, my eyes settle on the enormous tower at the edge of the valley. A prickling sensation scuttles across my limbic pathways. It's like before, at the pool, a calling. I must see to that tower. Without a second's thought, I put one foot in front of the other and stumble my way down the mountainside. I immediately trip and kill myself. Oh no, game over. Eventually I find myself in front of the bridge I saw earlier. The river gushes underneath the furrows of the iron bridge. I have a weird thing here. Rocks are stained with its mist. There's a plaque on the ground by the path with some sort of writing. Walking over it, I kneel down for a better look. Its letters seem to have depth. I run my hand along the characters, feeling the smooth grooves beneath my fingers. Each one is marked with thousands of tiny metallic indents. The material interlocking like finely woven cloth. Finely woven cloth? How do I even know what such a thing feels like? I suppose memories of senses are more rudimentary than memories of events. Pre-amnesiac me must have felt the stuff. What a life I leave behind. Never mind that. Back to the sign. It must be the name of this location. Certainly can't read it. I sit for a while, gathering my thoughts, when a ripple from the river catches my eye. Looking up, I see faint traces of movement near the water. It's difficult to discern the origin in the darkness. It's a crocodile. Probably. I squint my eyes and tiptoe towards the shoreline. That is brave. I would not do that. There's probably a reason they built a bridge over this river. Maybe because of the thing living in it. Then I see it. A tiny creature no bigger than my pinky, scurrying around. It stops abruptly, angling its minuscule head to look up at me. The moonlight reflects in its beady eyes. It seems to me a sort of lizard, but it's hard to tell in the dark. A tiny crocodile. Crocodile's a lizard? Are they under that species, or are they of it some other kind of genome? Probably an amphibian of some description. A sigh escapes my body. Finally, a sign of life. It immediately rips my throat out. And it's harmless. Well, at least I think it's harmless. Honestly, it's kind of cute. I never thought I'd say something like that about some wild critter. I suppose the loneliness is really getting to me. Is this a romance between the lizard and this random guy? Then, just as quickly as it appeared, the lizard then dashes back into the safety of the water. So long, friend. Time for me to get going too. I turn back towards the bridge with a newfound sense of security. I prowl over the structure, its iron floor creaking beneath my weight. As I reach the end, my eyes fall upon a distant light on the path ahead. Finally, the path arrives at the first building. It's absolutely enormous. The architecture is reminiscent of a classical style, very sort of Greek, isn't it? It's Parthenon, maybe. Huge white, hot marble pillars form the foundation of the structure. Each line and crevice crafted with intricate masonry. Light beams out from the entrance, casting away the shadows of the night. The marble structure, or the marble, has started to chip. But such a solid construction is sure to withstand centuries of torment before it begins to crumble. Maybe it already has. It's a sight to behold. A beautiful artwork. I can only guess at what lays inside. Steeling my nerves, I venture forth into the light with bated breath. We've got maybe some Egyptian style things here. That kind of lady, she seems very of that style. And it looks like a smiley face. My eyes slowly adjust to the light level inside. In contrast to its imposing exterior, the interior of the building is rather small, and almost claustrophobic. There's a tingle in my throat, a slight drop in my chest. Still, I've seen no one. It's really starting to get on my nerves. I creep down the hallway, watching the shadows whisper. Strange paintings of symbols and saints adorn the walls. The pigment has started to peel, bleaching and dusty. Alloyed musk into the stale air. The painting's presence must indicate some meaning to this place. Of art or study or religion. Oh. What was that? So that's the door. Perhaps the answers to my question lie beyond this very door. Dot dot dot. Dot 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 dot. Dot 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 dot. Nothing. There's nothing here. Ugh. Why did I close the door? It's a TV. Wow, this is not the era I was thinking. What? Is that a TV? Scan the room. I can't see a single thing in here other than this monitor. Judging from the echo, this space must be pretty large. I wanted to check it out, but I'm not going to just stumble around without a light source. I turn my gaze back to the monitor. It can't have just turned on for no reason. Moving closer, I shuffle my feet until I'm right in front of the display. The screen screams static in colour before settling on a pixelated scene. What is this scene? Maybe... Oh, it's an aeroplane, is it? This looks like maybe some armchairs on an aeroplane, and maybe this is the overhead? Don't know, I've never been on a plane, I'm just guessing. It seems to resemble an aeroplane, yes. My brain is not so smooth after all. There is a small panel beneath the main display which starts revealing words. It appears to be a narration of sorts. This is obviously some sort of scripted experience. A video game or something? You awake on an aeroplane crossing the South Pacific Ocean. Is this some sort of text adventure game? It certainly reads like one. You are marking consultant on a return flight from a business trip. I guess I'll stick around and see where this story goes. The trip was long and arduous. You are looking forwards to returning home to your family. Around you, people make conversation, eat, drink, and gaze out from their tiny windows at the blanket of blue below. Breathing a sigh of relief, you recline into your chair and feel your consciousness slip into a dreamy haze. Suddenly, a violent rumbling jerks you awake. You dart your head around, searching for an explanation to what's going on. The voices of people around you crescendo in volume. What's happening? They say. Hoarse and fearful. Flight attendants scramble towards the cockpit, hands perched on the seats for stability. Calm down, you tell yourself. It's probably just turbulence, but it's not. A symphony of sound rolls in from the front of the cabin. Hundreds of rubber strings fall from the roof above. Oxygen masks. Your esophagus shrivels into the span of a twine, a singular pluck vibrating down its end. An automated message on the speaker system instructs the mask wearing. Flight attendants call for order for the passengers. You feel the walls converging as hypoxia sets in. I don't know what that word means. Both of your hands fly out, clamoring for the rubber mask. Breathing? Should that be breathing? Or bathing? Bathing in the precious air, a flash of warmth washes over you. I think it was meant to be breathing. You look to your left. A father is helping his infant daughter with their mask, whilst they wail in agony. All around you, people cry out in fear. An announcement rings out through the cabin speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We have experienced a sudden loss of engine power. The flight crew is monitoring the situation, and we are currently headed for an emergency landing. Please follow all instructions from your cabin crew in a calm and orderly manner. The pressure in your ears grows as the aeroplane makes a rapid descent. The crew instructs the donning of life vests in case of a water landing. Each second feels like an eternity. After what seems like hours, the captain calls out again to inform everyone that they have reached a safe altitude for mask removal. Lifting your sweat-stained tube off your gaze out the window with horror as the plane sinks lower and lower. In the distance you see what looks like land. Then, the moment of truth. Brace, brace. You shut your eyes and wait for damnation. By some miracle you have managed to survive the crash. Your head is pounding and you can barely walk straight. Many died in the crash. Even more are injured. As the haze of confusion settles, people start to spread out and survey the situation. It appears that the aeroplane landed on a completely deserted island. The horizon is vacant in every direction, and the aeroplane's communication equipment has been completely destroyed. You will have to make do until help passes by. The sun is hot and the foliage dense. In your thick suit, you drip beads of solitary sweat all over the sand. You're horribly unprepared for the situation. The remaining survivors group together and head inland to make camp. The group designates members to scavenge the aeroplane for supplies, to gather food and water, and set up smoke signals. Plans are formulated. Everyone prepares for the worst. Time passes. Hours. Then days. Then weeks. Help still hasn't arrived. The group continues with the smoke signals nonetheless. You are assigned to water collection. You dig trenches, split coconuts, and use large leaves to collect rainwater. The work is grueling. Your sedentary body is not used to this kind of physical labor. Regular breaks are required to keep you from overexertion. Your diet consists of various fish and plant matter. Those who avoided eating the plants started to show the signs of scurvy and night blindness. What is night blindness? I don't actually know what that is. Is that like you just don't have good night vision when the lights are off? I know they used to say about eating carrots was good for your eyes, but I thought that was just a myth by the Allies during World War II. Maybe there's some truth to it. Despite the grim situation, your group has managed to make do with what it has. It seems that cooperation is the only thing keeping people alive. I'm sure that will last. As the days pass, supplies start to dwindle. Each day your body grows lighter. It seems this ordeal may last longer than everyone thought. But you will not give up. You will not die here. One night you decide to head down to the beach to clear your head. The pillows here aren't exactly comfortable. Oh my god, there's a dead man. When you arrive at the shore, a horrific scene lies before you. A man lies face down in the sand. Bright red blood soaks his clothes, seeping out into the ground below. Standing above him is a shadowy figure who scarcely recognizes one of the group fishermen. In his hands he grips a scarlet knife. Thin, wispy hair covers his forehead. Eyes sunken and hollow. His ribs are clearly visible underneath his tattered clothes. He was clearly a very bad fisherman. Why would you want that guy fishing? He clearly can't catch shit. He stands there, still looking down at the lifeless body beneath him. His face is contorted in rage. At any second he could lash out again. You need to do something fast. He has a weapon. You don't trust your chances in a one-on-one fight. Heart pounding, you call out for help, clearly alerting the man, which was a very stupid thing to do. The man jolts to action, whipping his body around, stumbling through the sand as he runs away. In the distance, shadows start to move around. Two men emerge from the tree line and immediately recognize the situation. Drop the weapon! They yell. As more spectators arrive to the scene. Overwhelmed by the numbers, the man drops his blade and cowers into the fetal position. He is beaten, dragged, and then restrained. A bit. He was he was surrendering. Maybe the beating bit wasn't necessary. The commotion slowly dies down. The following morning, the group meets to discuss the murder. It turns out that the victim was his brother. The brother had been carrying a load of food back to the camp when he was ambushed and killed in the ensuing scuffle. The perpetrator claimed it was an accident. I accidentally carried this knife and stabbed the man. That he was starving and merely meant to use the knife for intimidation. You remember the look on his face. The group discusses what should be done with him. Three options emerge: execution, incarceration, and banishment. Execution, the perpetrator will be killed. Simply killing him would free up resources that would be needed to keep him alive or captive. Additionally, it could potentially serve as a deterrent to others who would be murderers and thieves. Some say he simply deserved it. On the other hand, many view killings as moral evil, especially in the case of mob justice such as this, which has no real trial or court. And if help does arrive, there may be repercussions for those involved. Incarceration. The perpetrator will be restrained in a makeshift jail. Giving him captive may be a more moral decision. It would prevent him from killing or thieving again. If help arrives, he can be put through the proper legal system to be served justice. However, keeping him captive would require a lot of resources, guards, food, and water, at a time when supplies are running low and labor critical. And what if he isn't convinced? Or what if he isn't convicted when help arrives? I would presume he would. At a guess, I feel like killing people is a crime. Yeah. Banishment. The perpetrator will be banished to the other side of the island. I don't think that's a good idea. Given his supposed remorse, forgiveness may be the moral answer. This island is large, and he could reasonably survive by himself on the other side without contact. Additionally, no resources would be spent confining him. But perhaps his remorse is vain. What if he comes back and steals or kills again? That's with my concern. Letting him go might signal to other would-be thieves and murderers that we are weak. The crowd stirs in fervor as the debate rages on. Finally, the voices are stilled and the decision is put to a vote. Overwhelmingly, by the weight of responsibility, you abstain from the voting process. No, I would have voted. I would have probably put him in jail. That would be my choice. The numbers are in. A three-way draw. No, well, I guess it is my choice. The call is made. One of the abstainers must cast their vote. Silence. Or silence. Enough. You must be the one to step forward and choose. Which do you vote for? Now, I can understand the logic. It was nice that they kind of explained it. So killing them, I guess, makes sense, but also could encourage violence in the future. We don't want a kangaroo court. Releasing them, I think, risks him just coming back and killing us or trying to nick more stuff. He might not kill people, but I think he is likely to nick more food because he's already starving. Presumably we're not going to send him away with any food. Lock them up costs food, but maybe he can be reformed. Because if he's literally just hungry, then if we just feed him, he might become sane again, maybe. And he didn't have the look of a killer. He was kind of shocked. So I don't really think he's that evil. I'm going to say lock them up. You have been locked up, sir. The TV screen abruptly shuts off, and as if to fill its place, a door opens. I sit for a while, taking in what's happened. Was this little game made for me, or have I merely stumbled upon an echo of the past? Things are getting stranger by the minute. Taking care to skirt around the now shadowed monitor, make my way over to the door. The doorway opens back out into the expanse of the night. A shrill gust of wind combs over my exposed figure. The thought of what awaits me next brings a strange mix of fear and curiosity. So far, my journey has only brought me more questions. More than I bargained for. But answers do not visit. And so, I put one foot in front of the other. Venturing out into the darkness. To be continued. Thanks for playing the Citadel demo. It was fun. That was actually a really fun demo. Like I said, I don't think I've ever really done a story style game on the channel before, but that was very, very nice. I really liked that, and it was a nice story. Didn't really have much choices, but I guess in the whole game you probably do get more choices. I'm assuming this is just building the world. But yes, what a game. I'll have to look out for a few more of these style of games, because I think it's kind of fun to do these, and I do like doing goofy voices from time to time, even though it does mess my throat up. It's still fun. Well, if you enjoyed that, why not subscribe? When we play roguelikes, city builders, the occasional horror game, when I want to remind myself of how stupid I am. And I guess more of these if I can find any. If anyone's seen any games like this, or demos or whatever, just feel free to drop one in the comments. It'd be nice to look at, maybe. And also, generally, thank you for watching. See ya!